All right, so here we are. It's what day is it? It's just March 23rd, 2024. We're in the I24 CHaSE Spaceflight Training Debrief #1, and we have members from both Class 1 from July of 2023 and Class 2 from March of 2024. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and we'll have you go around and answer them, and tell us what you thought about it. So we're going to start with Smokey over there. Smokey, what did you think of the CHaSE training?
I'll be as honest as I can with you guys. It was a totally worldly experience. I mean, who has not dreamt about being in space? Well, the closest we got, or that I got, is that got to get into a brand new spacesuit. And it was a totally different spacesuit from Class 1, is what was my understanding. And I just happened to be the second one to put it on. Now, what I got out of it was there was plenty of teamwork. We got to learn about each other. We got to know how to react to certain situations during the training, and the camaraderie and what I call brotherhood / sisterhood was also there. And we were looking out for each other, and cohesion is a very big thing when it comes to being part of a crew. So it was a very good experience. Got to learn a lot about spacesuits and the history behind spacesuits, how they operate, why they operate the way they do, and how basically a spacesuit is our own little personal spaceship, because it protects us from the harsh elements being out in space, outside of a spacecraft, or any unpressurized environment. So I love the teamwork, the cohesion. We looked out for each other, and I haven't felt this great about being part of a team since I left the military a long time ago.
So excellent insight there, Smokey. Hard to top that, really. But yeah, for me, for those of you who aren't aware, I'm probably the first tradesperson to do this kind of training. So I was representing that in the training, and just trying to help build this pathway to bring tradespeople to space for this new space economy. And so being able to get access to a training like this, especially at the price point, is just unheard of. Everything in space flight is oriented towards academics. And so to be able to get access to this training for someone who's more or less a normal, everyday kind of person, that's like the big selling point to me, and what I'm most inspired and motivated to be part of this group for, is to help, our overall mission of increasing space access. And so I felt the training was excellent for that. Trent Tresh, our trainer, was just the epitome of accommodating for, a diverse crew of individuals trying to do this training. People from, like I said, all sorts of different backgrounds coming into this. Some that want to be astronauts, some that just want to, try on a spacesuit and see what it's like. And it was a very well-rounded training for that. And you hear astronauts talk about, when they've done a mission or a training together, they come back from that feeling like they have a new family. And it's not just, these are people I trained with or worked with. It's completely different. And this is the first time in my 4 years of being involved in the space community that I've truly felt like these people are my family now. We are connected, by blood almost, going forward. And, just having people there as we're, struggling to get into the raft and things like that, someone making sure that my foot, I have long legs, and so someone making sure that my foot is finding the rung on that ladder so I can get into the raft. It's just that kind of crew support, that crew cohesion that I was really interested in experiencing. And I thought really my main focus was the spacesuit operations, and because I did a special task for that, and I thought that was going to be like the peak of the experience, and actually it turned out to be the water egress, the spacecraft egress training that we did that was by far the most exhausting and, the most in need of that crew support to make that successful. And so, getting that, coming out of that with this new family, this new, group of, friends and colleagues was, the best part of it for me. So.
Yeah, for me, like having people from all sort of field, it's not just only the STEM program, engineers or medical, but also like having people from military background and then, marketing background, all sort of background that surprised me how much they know and how much they understand the value of space, and why it is important for all of us. It's not only for STEM program, it's not only for doctor, engineers, pilot, medical, but it's important for everyone, right? So I love that fact that my team has such a deep knowledge and understanding of space and awareness. And also like I see so much maturity and responsible towards each others, being there for each other and encouraging. And day one, like we all were so excited to, try the pressurized suit. And I believe it was everyone first time, and we all were in the same level of excitement. And day two, I love it so much because it was also new for all of us. When we see astronaut doing, egress training, it looks so much fun and easy, right? But now we realize how much it takes, to complete those tasks and how important it is to be involved, to encourage each other, and that was fantastic. I love it. If I get an opportunity to do something like this again, I'm so happy to do it with my teammate because this is the first time I ever feel like the entire team is like the best. Like they want to do best, they want to give best, and they also see best in others as well. And that's very important. And I absolutely love it.
In our first class that went, and I gotta say, you guys are lucky that got the new suits. I'll be honest, our suits had some wear and tear and some smells. They were not the most pleasant, but I hear these new suits are incredible. One of the biggest takeaways for me was I learned a lot about my own capabilities and what I was comfortable with and not comfortable with. The suit was great. I get in mine and we lose comm. So I had no comm during my whole pressurization. No big deal. Everybody is safe. Everybody was right there with me. So it was great. But the next day when we did our water training, I got scared, and I will say I was scared. I found myself actually in tears. I had a fear that came up, and I didn't know it was there. It was with the parachute, but putting on the Gumby suits was one of the most incredible things I had ever experienced. Trent and the whole team. Actually, Mathis came out too from the habitat. He had came over and joined us, and everybody in the water, the divers that were ready in case something happened. I felt safe. That was my big concern in the water. Those Gumby suits, like I said, were just incredible. It was a lot more difficult than I thought. I mean, I put my body to a physical challenge that I realized once I got home, I was not in the best physical shape yet. And so it has pushed me to get more fit. I came home and I wanted to make confident in the water. So I came home, bought a 20-foot pool. I bought a dive mask, and I'm learning to dive. And as something like Ethan touched on, a tradesman, I have no engineering, no scientific background whatsoever. I'm just your average person that loves space. And to be able to have this kind of training, I never would have imagined that could have been possible for me. And definitely the family, the community that we have. Like, I know a couple of you I've known for several years now. And so it's been great to see you guys come into I24. Um, I've never this group and this training really has opened so many doors for me that I never thought were possible. And so I highly recommend doing this. It was great. I wanted to go back with class 2, but I was watching a rocket launch instead. So
Can start. Leading up to the training itself, there was actually a lot of things that I had to go through in the sense of breaking through mental barriers. I think that one of the things that we can all relate as a class is that if you haven't participated in any STEM activities or engineering backgrounds, then it can be very something that's very new to the people that you share this with. So there tends to be a lot of skepticism around, oh, well, you should leave that up for people who are already in the field, or is that actually for anyone who wants to get into it? So leading up to the training itself, I did have to kind of push through the not negative thoughts, but just a little bit more of the doubters of is this something that everybody can do, and just pretty much push through it. But getting to the training itself really opened my eyes as to just how much teamwork is critical for the missions, even just the learning process itself. It changed the way that I view things, especially as to my perspective on working as a team. It was no longer how can everything go well for me, but instead it became how can I make sure that everybody is in the best position possible, and how can we ensure that they're going to be safe. So I was super excited about it. Getting into the spacesuit was it's been one of my dreams. And being able to feel what it would be like to do the real thing, it really reignited that spark of wanting to dive in deeper and learn more. I think that there was a great balance both in hands-on activities, but also the academia and really understanding what goes behind the scenes, such as understanding the pressure suit, understanding what goes into these pressure suits, how to ensure the safety, the procedures, the checklists. So that was really great, and just it opened my eyes a lot more. One of the biggest things for me as well was really taking on my fears and understanding what I was comfortable and not comfortable with, similar to Holly's experience. Day 2 was a roller coaster of emotions. Because it's one thing to understand the basic principles of how to do something, but it's another to actually do it. And in my case, it was swimming. And it really made me uncomfortable thinking that I was going to hold the team back by not being able to just jump in. And one of the things that really helped me out a lot was knowing that everyone on the team was very supportive, but that they also were there, that I wasn't alone. So just letting go of the edge, letting go of the side of the pool, and just going straight in, and just understanding that it takes mental. You have to be mentally tough and also willing to do it. It really made me discover something new about myself and learn something new about myself. So the water activities were great. They were hard. The Gumby suits were awesome. It definitely tells you how much you should start getting more physically active. But it was great, and it keeps that level of seriousness when it comes to being cautious and aware of your surroundings, and also aware of your crewmates. But it was a great experience. I believe that this is also an experience that will change the way you look at things when you leave. if anything, for me, what it's done is it's made me look at different ways to contribute to the space industry, not just in maybe becoming an engineer or working for a space company, but more of, let's pose a question as to how would this work in space? Because the reality is that people like you and I and all of our team here are eventually going to go to space. And it's not just going to be professionals or the right stuff. Eventually it's going to be the common person every day. So it's a great experience. One thing that stuck with me the most was that there's multiple solutions to a problem. And I've just have started seeing the world like that now. So if there's anything I can take away from all this, is just jump in, just dive in, just jump in, and you'll be all right. So it was a great experience. Highly recommend.
I wish I had remembered this was happening, so I could have written down a few thoughts, but I'll give it my best go. I guess it was different from my expectations. I guess I didn't have. It's been a busy beginning of the year for me, so I didn't have a whole lot of time to prep for it or establish what I thought it was going to be. I guess looking back to last summer, I saw when Holly and the rest of the group did the first run, and that was the first time that I had seen anything like this. And it struck me that I didn't know this type of thing even existed for ordinary people, sort of like Ethan said. So feel very blessed to have found this group and joined up and to have this opportunity that really is, again, like Ethan said, for everyday people. And what I found is that my little expectations that I did have was sort of just, well, it'll be fun to put on a space suit. The water stuff, I guess, should be fun too, and hopefully the people are nice. What I found, and it's probably the most satisfying part of all of it, is that while the spacesuit was cool, what I really got out of it was that the experience of helping other people, working through the checklist, that was what gave, on day one, that was what gave me the most satisfaction, that I was a part of the team, that we were working together to accomplish our own goals, individually and as a group, and troubleshooting issues that came up, coming up with new ideas for various things on how to do it or whatnot. And that was the part that it sort of turned it on its head for me. And again, so I'm hoping this isn't the only time I put on a spacesuit. So I don't want to focus too much on that aspect of it. But I do really think that the takeaway was being a part of the larger group and assisting was really what gave me the most satisfaction on day one. Day two, though, is highly underrated. If anything, day one was my focus going in, but day two really stole the show with me, because again, that's where we really came together as a team and got to work together, and it got real in the pool with people of various skills and abilities in the water. And I'm just so proud of the group that we hung together. We helped each other out. We helped bring up the people who weren't as sure of themselves. And I think we all had a really great experience to come out of it. Hats off to Trent for putting on an amazing program. And from the sounds of it, he really iterated a bit from last summer's first class. And I think that day two in the pool went very smoothly, the way that we did it. So we sort of built skills as we went, adding the suits, adding different, adding the raft, flipping the raft over, and various things. So it really gave us the confidence that we knew what we were doing. And by the end, we were really cohesive as a team, attacking the plan of what we wanted to accomplish in each particular instance when we went in. So again, the experience of it was really great, but it wouldn't have been the same if it weren't for this great group of people that came together and really did become a family over the course of 2.5 days. It was really the most satisfying part of it for me. So I think if anything, you go through something like this that, again, you didn't think it was possible, and you learn something about yourself. And for me, that was, I really enjoyed the camaraderie and helping other people, and hopefully that will assist me in the career that I will be pursuing someday. So nothing but good things. Highly recommend to anybody who wants to do something like this. You'll find that you can do it. None of it was too big for any of us. It might seem intimidating to start, but truly, if your passion is spaceflight and getting with like-minded people, there's nothing that you can't do. And this was a great example of that. So.
One of my most memorable moments was when the team got together, when they saw that I wasn't at 100%. And considering how everybody reacted as fast as they did, I didn't feel like I thought I was letting the team down, but because of the actions of every single person in that pool that was with me, made me feel very comfortable and very confident that we became basically a family. We became real tight because we were looking out after each other. And that's what a crew and teamwork is all about. Because the real world astronauts, they have to rely on that person to his left, that person to his right, above him and below him, especially when you're in weightlessness. So that day, everybody came to me, and I didn't feel like I was being judged at all, because the cohesion was there, and I was trying to do my best, and I took my body to the limit, because I'm the average Joe, but I'm one. So I am representing those people that, like Holly was saying, that Grit was saying, I don't have a technical background. The best part about me was that I have a very passionate heart for the space program. And since I wasn't able to become an actual astronaut, I wanted to at least contribute to the space program in some shape, way, or form. And by having become part of this team, I really felt like I made a difference, and I want to inspire other people like me that are everyday people. So that was my biggest takeaway.
Oh, I suck at these questions because I can never pick just one, and so I'm not going to. I'm going to pick like two or three, maybe. I'll be quick. So like my first thing, obviously, was getting to do a technician level task in the spacesuit. I had rehearsed this for weeks ahead of time, and getting to actually do it in the suit, I was within the range of my average time and my record when I did the actual task. Which, by the way, was setting up a DSLR and taking a spacesuit selfie, which I'll be posting soon. And, just getting to accomplish that when I was done, I didn't have any trouble in the suit. I was like, well, I got to get out of the suit now. I was ready to stay in there for another hour. So, I was loving it, and I didn't know what I was going to expect with it. So that was one. The other was, I remember in the pool, like Tim would just, because he just, without even communicating it, he just knew to try and get my foot in that awkward Gumby suit boot into the ladder rung to make sure that I could get leverage to get up into the raft. And it was just, that was just, crew cohesion, to the max right there. Just, you didn't have to communicate it. It was just a given. And so, getting to experience things like that and be part of an actual team of everybody pulling their weight and looking out for each other is not something I'm used to in my field. We try to be crew, but it's not common for everybody to pull their weight and then some. So that's the unique qualifier for space crew, I think, is looking to do that sort of thing for each other. So that would be, those two, I think, were probably my top favorite moments.
Start with day one. When Carlos was doing push-ups with the pressurized suit, that was really funny and kind of like very entertaining, right? I mean, like, we don't really like, I didn't even think that far, like doing some push-ups or sit-ups. And then when I had to do it, then I realized how hard it was, right? He made it look so easy. Like he was like, yeah, I got it, right? And then when I had to do it, that was pretty challenging. So that was day one. And day two was like how we all had this fear of how we're gonna do it. Like Smokey said, what if I let my team down because of my performance, right? And then, but at the same time, I believe we all have some sort of fear in our head. Like, oh my gosh, I never did this before. This is my first time ever doing it. I never had a Gumby suit before, and it was too big for me, and it was already challenging for me. But like having that support, like everybody was trying to, make me feel comfortable, and then helping me with all the maneuver exercise we did. It was fun, very much fun. I do not uh like if I have to look back and just think like how well we did as a team and how important it is, you know, at the end of the day, we all say like how well we did, right? So that was very like very like something that I will never forget in my life. Like how much we have to deal with the fear and also how much we can actually make each other strong, just letting our fear out, like, hey, I'm also not really good, but we're gonna do it great, right? That team support is very important. And yeah, team, great teamwork.
Okay, so I hands down, my best moment was Dr. Eric pushing me into the pool in my Gumby suit. You know, Dr. Eric, to me, I mean, he was amazing. The way he taught us in class was just great. But having him push me into the water, I've got the video footage of it. It to me, that was priceless. I was not prepared. He just shoved. So that was great. The second thing for me was the Stop the Bleed course. I don't think anybody has brought that one up. Me as a former paramedic, the training was very similar but very different. And I think Dr. Eric, and I cannot remember the doctor that did our Stop the Bleed, but that class, I truly, truly enjoyed that one. Getting to stuff all the fake holes with gauze, and that was just a lot of fun.
Well, for me, one of my favorite moments and one of the funniest moments was when we were getting ready for day 2 at the pool, and everybody's getting ready to go into the dive in, but the sun is out, so some of our crewmates started putting on sunscreen, and during this moment of getting ready to go into the pool, and we're all pretty much locked in, getting serious to complete the task, there was this slight moment of just being able to be yourself and laugh and having a good laugh as a team. So that to me was one of the best moments, because it brought me back to realize that we are just human, we are just people, and it was fun, it was funny. So that was one of my favorite moments. And the second one was when we all received the certification, because I had, again, going into this as a team, it was, you see everybody taking on these fears, and I took on my own fears too, but being able to get that and hold it in your hand and then taking the group picture was a wonderful moment. It was one of my favorite moments. So a combination of laughter and humor and having fun, and then of course of being able to complete the course and seeing your hard work pay off.
So as far as CHaSE training goes, the best part of that, I felt like it was enough classroom work to get us up to speed on what we needed to know, but there was a whole lot of hands-on. So anybody who's considering doing this, know that you're not going to spend all day in the classroom falling asleep. You are going to learn, and it's going to be interesting. You're going to learn the things that you need to learn, but then Trent's going to get you as fast as you can into doing hands-on activities that you're actually doing it yourself or helping somebody else do something. jumping in the pool and doing all of those things too. So it was really involved. We got, it was a lot of activity. So that was 2 thumbs up from the CHaSE training point of view. On the other hand, as a part of Inspired 24, I've got really 2 points that I want to make here. Is that, like, the best part of doing all of this as a part of that group too is, again, not to sound like too much of a broken record, but like, we really did become a team, and it's hard not to compare to, my work that I go back to after this and go, whoa, we are nowhere near the type of team that we were last weekend in this small group here. And I think it's really rare that you get those opportunities where you can be that type of, close-knit team with people that you didn't really know before this. I mean, we've been on some Zoom calls together. That's about it for the most of us, I think. But that was really special, to the point where, like, we're encouraging each other. There was no negativity. It was, hey, great job with that. Oh, here's what I did. Maybe that'll help you. It was constant positivity, and just that it was sole focus of how we can all do this together and be great at it. And then the last point I'll make, probably one of the favorite moments was at dinner on Sunday night. We were all just scheming about, what are we going to do next? And if possible, let's have it be this exact group again, because we enjoyed it so much together and we did form such a great team. So what are we going to do together next? And again, that's just super special. You don't get that too many other places.
If you want to become part of a real good cohesive team, if you miss being part of something that's going to determine positivity in the future, to help out others, to help out inspire others, join CHaSE training. It's something that's out of the world, in a very remote location, which is really looking like a real outer world experience and location. So it's quality training. A lot of information is put out by the lead instructor, Trent, in our case. You'll walk away feeling even more proud of yourself because you have learned a lot in a short period of time.
Well, if you're a normal person, you can do this. You won't be able to do this anywhere else except through CHaSE. So this is your point of contact. You're going to get excellent training from very qualified individuals. You're going to learn so much about space and what is involved in space, and also learn about yourself, things you could not anticipate learning about yourself in this kind of environment. You're going to have a lot of fun. I mean, your crew, you're going to have so many hilarious moments, and you're going to share, you're going to bond. It's going to be tight, and you're going to come away from this and you're going to have a complete paradigm shift in your view of your environment back home and in the world. So do it.
A lot of questions, like every space like training I have done, is it just for the STEM program, who are in engineering or medical and or some physics, mathematics? I want you to know, like, you should definitely do it, and you're going to see all kind of people from all kind of background and field. And then it's the excitement that this training brings. Like, everybody's so curious and excited to learn, right? So you're never going to feel like, oh my gosh, I don't have any sort of technical background, I don't have any sort of knowledge about space, or maybe I have a little bit, maybe it's not enough. All your doubts, your concern, you're going to make it clear if you do this training. And it's just 2 days training, and you're going to learn every day. Like, you're going to learn so fast, but with the excitement. So it's not going to even make you feel like you are learning so many things, or the pace is so fast, because every time, like, you are going from one training to another training. So it's so many things you learn, but at the same time, you're never going to feel like sleepy or tired. It's like just excitement after another excitement. And you're going to see, like, what you can bring, you can add in your life as well as even in your community. And it's the biggest eye-opening for me as well, because I have done so many training, but it is itself for me was the biggest eye-opening. Meeting people, seeing that excitement, like everybody has something to add, and that was just great. I would highly recommend that. And people have been reached out to me, how do I get to this training, stuff like that. I'm like, go for it. You're gonna learn so much. As long as you have like a learning mindset, there is only one thing you're gonna learn, is just learn. Do it and learn it. And sometimes you have to relearn, right? So yes.
To join the CHaSE training, diversity and inclusion. This is truly going to help make space accessible to everyone someday, including those with disabilities. We're not going to be limited anymore, and this training is the beginning step for that. And the bonds, the friendships are lifelong. That is for sure. It's worth it.
I think that you should, I highly encourage anyone to take the CHaSE training if you really want to be able to understand just how in-depth preparations, teamwork goes, and also the amount of different mindsets and different backgrounds actually go into the space sector. And as someone who has DACA and the son of immigrant parents, it's also a great way for first generations to be able to try something different, open up those new doors to opportunities, and really inspire people who have doubts as to whether this is something that's accessible to them or not, based on their background, based on where they come from, based on their upbringing. So I really encourage anyone to try CHaSE training. It's going to teach you a lot about yourself. It's going to bring up a lot of fears that you might have not thought about recently. But it's also going to show you just the importance of teamwork and the importance of being a team player. So, yeah.
I would say is that if you look hard enough, you'll be able to find all kinds of space training that's available out there if you have enough money to do it. I think the case for CHaSE is that it is pretty affordable, and but with our group coming together and sharing rooms, sharing car, and we help in those ways as well. So it is a great. I think it's a great entry level program for literally anybody. If you have any interest at all, this is a great place to start. And as has been said, you will learn something about yourself. It's impossible not to. You'll find that you can, with help of others, overcome some of your fears. Maybe you'll learn that you have a real passion in one of the areas that we delve into over the course of the weekend. And who knows, maybe that will affect the course of your life, where you decide to follow your passions and pursuits and find yourself in the space sector yourself. So a great entry level. Like I said, hopefully there's a level 2 or 3 coming down the road at some point. I'm sure we would all do that when it comes, because this was such a great entry point and we all had a great experience.